Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. How are all of you today? You having a good day? Well, if you're not, we are here to perk your day up. I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is our fun-filled and always exciting and always surprising entertainment lifestyle talk show series. I say surprising because sometimes you never know what happens. We're live on the air. Anything can happen. We could pull surprises out of our hat. We always have a good time, and it's so good to see all of you watching from all around the world. This is the Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, the Jim Masters Show Live, JMS Live, as we call it as well, where we have a lot of fun. We learn something new. We have inspiring conversations, amazing guests from a wealth of endeavors, not just entertainment and not just the arts and not just sports or comedy, but from Broadway, music, Hollywood, television, film, culinary arts, gardening and landscaping, sports, comedy, inspiration. Really, we touch upon all aspects of life. This is a variety show. This is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series where we have a lot of fun. Light, love, and levity, positive energy is what we always have here too. We always have a cool time. Amazing guests. Were you with us last night when tennis star and ESPN tennis commentator Patrick McEnroe, dear friend, joined us on the show? We had an amazing conversation with him. You can see that in the archives on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Matter of fact, all of the episodes of our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series are available for you to watch, share, and enjoy on our fantastic channel, which is Jim Masters TV. That is chock full with so many great episodes that many of you have watched and enjoyed and have shared. Continue to do that, folks. Many of you say, hey, what can I do? I want to, spread the word about the show. You can post on your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook page. You can share the links, the YouTube links on your pages. We also have a Facebook group designed for our show. It's called JMS Live. Lovity Hall. That's right, Lovity Hall. So look for JMS Live, Lovity Hall. It's a new Facebook page we created just for all of you. You asked for a page and we created it, and everybody's very active in it. I pop in as well and say hello to everybody, and it's really cool. It's just another way for us to stay connected, because the relationship that I have with you, the viewers, the folks who are our Lovities, part of our Lovity squad, means a lot to me. And, I don't see this show as just a show where I'm doing all the talking or we just have a guest and that's it. I think it's really cool to have people who watch live and participate with comments and things of that nature, as well as those who watch later and then comment on our YouTube channel. A lot of people like to binge watch the episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live later on. So if you're watching this later on when we're not live, we welcome you as well. Continue to watch, spread the word. We get so many beautiful messages and comments from the folks who watch the show, our series here, the Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. I get a lot of private messages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We get comments on the YouTube page, channel, Jim Masters TV. And I thank you so very much for that. That means a lot. As many of you know, I do this work in the professional world in television and radio. So this show, this series is an extension of that work that I do. And we created the show, turned on the lights about a year ago, and we're, I think, somewhere around 400 episodes or so. And it's just been a true blessing. It really is. We talk about so many different things. We always learn something new. We always have a fantastic time. And I love to bring you in, the viewers. I love to bring you guys in. So we'd love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That's really big time. Thanks to all of you if you have already. We really appreciate that. That means a lot. That does help the series big time. So subscribe to the channel you're watching right now, which is Jim Masters TV, and click the notification bell. Click the notification bell so you don't miss any of the daily live exciting episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live. We go on location. We do host Lovity segments and chats. We do guest interviews. We do lots of cool things, something different every single night. So we would love it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss anything on that channel, which is, of course, the Jim Masters Show Live. Also, the Masters Mantras video series we have too, which are short inspirational video and verbal videos that we do that are really, really cool. And we have something else we're going to be rolling out on Jim Masters TV as well, a new series that's coming on. So definitely subscribe to the channel. We would love that. How is everybody? You guys doing well? We have today a very special guest joining us live from Los Angeles, California. The farmer Ken. Yes, the farmer Ken is with us, and he's going to be with us just a second. He's all poised and ready to go. If you are a gardener, if you have a green thumb, I'm very lucky, like the farmer KenSparks, to have a green thumb. I've always had a green thumb since I was a kid. I've always had an interest in landscaping and even landscape architecture and gardening, and have done it, for many, many years, ever since I was a kid, because I always saw my family doing it. My parents working in the yard and relatives with gardens, and some even have farms, and just have always enjoyed it. Did you know that last year in 2020, during the height of the pandemic, gardening actually was the #1 hobby? So many people were flocking to getting outside, getting within nature, and gardening and getting their hands dirty in the soil. I think because it's healing, it's very therapeutic, and they needed a break from the day-to-day breaking news about the economy, the pandemic, and all the craziness going on. So it's a very, very popular thing to do, getting out there and planting, and what he does is really unique. He's an urban farmer. He takes areas that are blighted and areas that maybe need some improvement and turns them into works of art when it comes to gardens and so much more. I want to show you what we've got tonight. We've got some dog love, this mug, very special mug here. And it's filled with some green tea. We toast you and you. So if any dog lovers are out there, have your dog maybe raise the paw and wave to us. We salute the dogs and the cats and the birds and everybody. So how is everybody doing? Got a nice package in here from one of our lovely viewers, Christine Clifton. And we're going to open this. Thank you very much, Christine. A surprise package in here. We'll open this over the weekend. And I really appreciate that. Thanks. You guys send things, cards and gifts. It's you don't have to do it, but it's so beautiful for you to do what you do. And we appreciate all of you. And we welcome you to the show. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We would love that. Click the notification bell. And hello, Lovities. Of course, you guys are our Lovities, part of our Lovity squad. I asked on the channel, I said, so who here has a green thumb? I do. Ken, our very special guest, the farmer Ken, does as well. And if you do, let us know. If you have any questions during the show, too, feel free to post them. Tess LaBelle is here from Florida. Hello, Mr. Lovely. Hello, Tess. It's good to see you here, as always. And how wonderful to be here with all the Lovelies. We love you here as well, Tess. And she also says, welcome, Ken. So looking forward to getting to know you. You're a Lovity now. I already told him about all that. And he says, bring it on. He loves the Lovity idea. Chris still in Connecticut says, hi, Jim and everyone. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Looking forward to an amazing show, an inspiring conversation, and Lovity. Absolutely. Tesla Bella says, I would like to think I have a green thumb, but I guess tonight I will really find out. That's right. The test is today. Hope you had a great day. Our day has been fantastic. Very, very busy today. Hello, Jim and Lovely friends. Gardening time. Mary Bishop in Florida. Hearts from Tess. Amy says, hello, Lovely friends. We appreciate all these great comments, gang. You guys are the best. The true Lovely squad here on the Jim Master Show Live. Hi, Jim and Lovely family. Looking forward to learning more about gardening tonight. And Wozniak in Jacksonville, Florida. Again, our show has something for everybody. Something for everybody. Jennifer Barry says, I love nature. However, I don't have a green thumb. Well, maybe tonight you will. Maybe tonight you will. Tess is obsessed with orchids. Would love some tips on how to hang them on the trees in Florida. That's a good question. We will check that out. Juanita in South Africa, who is one of our lovely viewers. I love the landscaping aspect. My yard was once a huge field, now looking pretty decent. Slowly does it. Tess says, it's fabulous that they are on YouTube, so you never miss. That's right. Spread the word about our YouTube channel, and everybody join in and subscribe. We would love that. Lovely squad, love that as well. And cool stuff. You are in Nashville visiting your sister. I haven't seen her since 2019 because of COVID. And all is right with the world. Your heart is full. That is beautiful, Amy. We love hearing that. And Anne in Southern California, which is where Ken is. Hello, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful day. So happy to be here with all the Lovities. Good to see you, Ann and Kathleen in New York City. Hey, Jim, happy to see you. Hi, everyone. I know you've been busy with the New York Mets, right? My team, because you work with them. Thank you very much, Tess. We love all those emojis. And you're fine with outside plants, but you're a killer of house plants. And Juanita says, hello, Jim and Lovely Squad. Let's do some gardening. We welcome everybody, and we'll check some of the other comments as they're coming through here. But I would love to welcome Ken on. He really is... He just loves what he does, and he's very passionate. He's been doing it for a long time. He is in Los Angeles, but he's originally from Ohio, and he has a wonderful story about how he initially, fell in love with gardening and landscaping. Yours truly, yes, your host here is a green thumb, and there's proof in the pudding. We're already getting plants and flowers and things of that nature for our yard here. Wouldn't you love to get every single thing you see there? I'll take all those baskets, take everything that they've got. So yeah, green thumb. And so is Ken. Yes, he is the farmer Ken, and we're so excited to have him here. Gardening has always been a special part of his family. His garden journey started in Ohio at age 5 with his grandmother and great-grandmother. He grew up with gardens throughout his youth, which built his foundation. While at the Ohio State University, he was a recipient of a USDA scholarship, active in college, the College of Food, Agriculture, and Environmental Sciences, and served as president of Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences. He works with a landscape specialist at the Cleveland Metro Parks. He did that, which gave him insight on creative ways to utilize plants. And as one of his humanities projects, he took the initiative on starting a community garden in an under-resourced neighborhood in Columbus, Ohio. He was elated by the impact that the garden had on the community and wanted to continue having a greater impact with more communities. He graduated from the Ohio State University with a major in African American Studies, minor in music, and minor in natural resources. He relocated then to Chicago, where he received a Master of Education from the University of Illinois at Chicago. And he's implemented community gardens and has been able to help under-resourced communities and families in Ohio, Illinois, and now in Los Angeles, California. Really, really cool stuff. Let's welcome the farmer Ken to the show right now. Ken, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
So this is something, and we welcome all the viewers watching live right now from around the world. This is something that became an early inspiration for you growing up in Ohio through your family,
Right.
through your grandmother, huh? Tell us about that.
Yes, I'm from an area called Twinsburg, Ohio, which is in the suburbs of Cleveland. So we're actually in the Guinness Book of World Records for having an annual Twins Day Festival the first weekend of August. From twins from all over the world come to Twinsburg. So that's where I grew up. I had a very well-rounded childhood. I'm also a musician. So I
Yeah.
sing, play sax, write, produce music, right? So I do that. And I had gardens growing up. So my great-grandmother, I was fortunate to meet 4 of my 8 great-grandparents.
Wow, you are fortunate.
So they were much older when I was little, right? But my great grandmother, my maternal grandmother's mom. So that's who I was learning how to garden with when I was younger, and my maternal grandmother, and my maternal great aunt as well. Growing up, they kind of they showed me how to do things, molded me, and so around the age of 5 is when I initially started learning how to grow. And in Ohio, we have a growing season. So we have to grow between May and October and November, right? And
Yeah.
whatever we would grow, we would freeze some things, and we would can some things as well, make jellies and jams from the grapevines and things like that. So I learned how to do that. And then I had my own garden space starting in like maybe later elementary school, middle school, and high school. I would have my own garden too. So with my parents and at our home, I would build a garden space there, and then I would help with my grandmother's garden space as well when I would go over there. And so that's how I got my foundation. And then I left for college, and I went to the Ohio State University. And at first my major was in wildlife biology. So when I first started, I was in the College of Food, Agriculture, and Environmental Sciences. And then I became more exposed to humanities. and I ended up switching my major and minor, and so my major ended up being in humanities, but I still had a minor in natural resources and a minor in music. So pretty well rounded.
It's
So I
all
did band
creative.
growing up. Yeah, it's all creative.
It's all creative. Yeah.
It's all creative. I did band growing up. I played saxophone, so from
Mhm.
fifth grade up, and so uh, yeah, I was able to do all that. And so with humanities, I was I was doing this one class, and we had to do a humanities project. And so I was in this community, this under resource community, and on the east side of Columbus, Ohio. And
Mhm.
it's this organization called Neighborhood House. And so I revitalized the community garden space, and then we planted corn and bush beans and cucumbers and tomatoes, and we made that
Cool.
space really nice, and we were able to utilize that produce for the community. And that's when I first got my taste at community garden spaces. I ended up relocating to Chicago in 2007, and then I worked I started working in education in 2007, and so I was at the time we were doing after school programs. I was working for the Princeton Review for a couple of years, and we were
Yeah.
doing some after school uh, education enrichment programs, and then I started my graduate program at the University of Illinois at Chicago. So I have a master's in education and youth development. So uh, after I left the Princeton Review, then I worked for couple other nonprofits or small for-profit agencies, and I was able to they were all education programs, and so we did like either before school, after school, academic and enrichment programs, and I was able to one of the highlights being in Chicago was I was able to first time writing a grant, I got it. So that was pretty cool.
Wow. And that's not an easy thing. I know I have friends that write grants for,
Yeah.
I do volunteer work for this place called Columbus House, and they find housing for the homeless. And I usually MC a lot of their charity events. And one of them is called Chocolate to the Rescue, where they bring in all of these chocolatiers and all these restaurateurs and pastry chefs, and they make all of these incredible chocolates. And then people buy tickets to come to the event and taste all the different chocolates and all the different creations, and then vote on the best one and everything. And a couple of my friends work within that organization, and they write the grants. And could be it's an arduous process, isn't it?
It is. At the time, Lowe's was doing, I think it was called like a toolbox grant for education, and it was a process, but we got it done, and we got a grant. And the school I was working with at the time was called Sherwood Elementary School, and it's in the Inglewood community in Chicago. And we were able to start our own community garden with the grant money. And I started a garden club, and the students we did the students built the whole garden space, decided what to plant. They were, we did the shopping, building of the garden space, and then
Wow.
we did healthy cooking and eating classes. I believe in holistic approach to learning. So, when you're building your garden space, you're doing mathematics as well, right? You also have science involved with it, and then you have health and nutrition. So we brought in a community partnership. At the time, there was a partner called Healthia, and so they did healthy cooking and eating with the students, and then the students made their own recipe book at the end. And so we utilized some of the produce from the garden for that. And then we had family programs where the parents could come in, and we did healthy cooking and eating with them as well. And so it was pretty cool experience. I was working for an agency called Family Focus Inglewood at the time, a small nonprofit. And so I had some great experiences there. Um, and then I relocated to Los Angeles. I've been here 7 years now.
Mm.
And when I first got here, I worked for a small nonprofit in the Watts community called Urban Compass. And one of the projects we had was revitalizing this community garden space in Nickerson Gardens project. And so we were able to, they had a community garden space, but we helped beautify it and revitalize it, and added more beds, and did a massive planting and a launch. And so it was a pretty cool experience. And the after
Wow.
school programs with the students. So in the Watts community,
Yeah.
really local we partnered with 112 elementary school, which is right in the Watts community, and we did and we had academic enrichment programs, and part of the programs we did also was a gardening program, and we had a partnership with the American Heart Association at the time, and we were able to do healthy cooking class with the students there too. So I'm all about, you know, giving back to community, exposing youth to new opportunities, and you know, in education, as well as, you know, just doing that holistic approach. I worked in the school district for a while as a director as well, and then I officially launched the Farmer Ken last year, and so now I have my own business, and so I take all that experience from my childhood and from my education background and from my workforce background and wrap that all up into what I'm doing now. So
That's exactly what I was thinking as I was
yeah.
listening to you. I was saying you have found your bliss in terms of being able to take this passion that you've had early on as a kid for gardening and for, you know, landscaping and planting and nurturing, and tie it into, you know, with the business acumen and the
Hmm.
education, and as well the desire to want to make life better and to
Yeah.
inspire people who don't necessarily have the resources or the connections or whatever it may be, the mentorship,
Right.
and empower them, and to do it in a very beautiful way, in a long lasting way too. So you've been able to take the two things and merge them into something really, really special. And it reminds me of me a little bit because of the work I do on television and radio and stage, and even with a show like this. You know, it allows me to empower and connect and inspire and entertain, and not just talk and do a show, but
Right.
hopefully, you know, I get messages from people as far as telling me how much the show matters to them and means to them, and they look forward to it. I'm sure you get that feedback from people in the communities as well, as far as the work that you do and how much it really means to them. And that probably makes you feel, you couldn't probably even put it in words, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have clients where I help build their garden spaces, like anywhere from apartment garden spaces to rooftop gardens. I had a client with a rooftop downtown LA garden, rooftop on top of their garage, and I've had small in-ground garden spaces. So it's been a variety, and I've done virtual field trips with students. So I'm still doing education
Yeah.
component, you know, things as well. I've had a couple of virtual field trips where students came to my urban farm space virtually, and I gave them a tour and we talked about gardening and growing. So it's been pretty cool. I did some work in TV and film too. I was doing coordinator work. You know, I do that from
Sure.
time to time, and I've done PA work in the past as well. And so
Any
I
specific shows or like local stations or?
yeah, all of mine have been pretty live shows, like BET Awards,
Oh
Golden
yeah.
Globes,
Yep.
uh, American Music Awards. So I was doing since I've been in LA, I've been doing that as well, dabbling in that as well. It's my other creative outlet because
The
I
creative
love
outlet.
anything creative. So
Anything creative. Well, I wanted to show you a couple of the comments that are coming in. As I mentioned, you know, I'm very viewer centric, and I'm very communal, and I love feeding off the energy of people and giving it back. So, you know, a lot of people would just do a show and just talk and not involve the people that are watching, whether they're watching live or they're watching later on in the archives. And I love bringing people in, and our viewers, they call themselves the Lovities. They've already deemed you a Lovity. And from everything you just described, you definitely are. Anne, who's in Southern California, says, I've seen Ken on local television. He definitely is such an amazing human being. You've been on ABC 7 and in the Los Angeles Times, and your work has been recognized and noted within the media and beyond, right?
yeah, so it was very unexpected. I didn't like it. Just kind of took off last year. ABC 7 News, LA Times, Modern Farmer magazine. And then I was in San Diego Tribune. A lot of people pick up the story from LA Times. So I was in the New Orleans paper, and then Atlanta. I was in a couple papers in Atlanta, Hawaii, Oklahoma. So, and I don't even know about all this, right? Because they picked it up from LA Times until people started reaching out to me. And then they sent me newspaper articles from their cities. So that's how I found out. I had no idea these a lot of people. Well, they didn't reach out to me, so I didn't know they picked up the story, right? And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, I'll send you a newspaper
You're in it.
article. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I started getting all these papers from around the country from people sharing with me.
Well, I tell you, it really is incredible work that you're doing and how you've been able to sort of combine both worlds together. Again, the world of wanting to empower and inspire others, and then to have gardening, which alone does that. Gardening is very healing and very unifying and very therapeutic, isn't it?
It is. I reconnected with the land. So I when I lived in Chicago, my garden space was, at the school, right? And then when I moved to LA, I had it, at the community garden space. But then I bought my first home in LA in 2015. I'm now on my third home, but every home I've been in, I've incorporated a garden um, aspect in there. And so I was able to, reconnect and finally have my own as a
Yeah,
homeowner. And then my grandmother that I learned how to garden from, she passed away in 2019. And to honor her, I expanded my space. I have a food forest too, which I'll talk about. But I
that's cool.
in honor of my grandmother, I planted some fruit trees that you would typically find in colder climates. And so that's when I first started building my food forest. And then now I expanded on the whole hill. But at the time I started with a nectarine, a pear, and an apple tree, just to honor her. And a couple lavenders were a favorite plant. So I added more lavenders in my space. And then after that, it just took off like on the top of the hill. And so now I have over 70 plus fruit trees or shrubs on the top of the hill.
That
Yeah.
is incredible. That is
Yeah.
amazing. I want to show you some more of the lovely coming in here. Karen Campbell Green, who's in Nova Scotia, Canada, one of our regular lovedies, watching all the time. She says, hello, everybody. Welcome to Lovedy Hall. Ken, our newest lovedy. That's from Karen in Nova Scotia, and more
Thank you,
coming in
Karen.
here. I want to show you some more great comments. Christine Clifton says, I remember assisting my father writing grants in the music department in college. What great things you have accomplished, Ken. That's Christine in North Carolina. Linda in Florida says, good evening, Ken. You're a lovedy now. And more coming in here. Good evening, Mr. Lovedy, and good evening, lovedies. We love that. Merlin in Canada says hello. And welcome all the lovedies. And let's see, more coming in. Wow, they're really piling in here. Christine also says, Ken, welcome to the show tonight. You're now a lovedy. Hi, Jim and all lovedies this evening. And again, Anne mentioned she saw you on local television there in Los Angeles. Anne in Florida. Jacksonville says, hi, Ken. Looking forward to learning new ways of gardening. Welcome. And the picture I showed with you holding up that squash, everybody has a squash, but that one is as big as a swan from what Tess says. And Kathleen in New York City says, welcome. Juanita in South Africa says, welcome to the show, Farmer Ken. Amazing, Tess says. Crystal in Connecticut says, hi, Ken. Welcome to Lovedy Hall. Jennifer Barry, who's in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Ken. And and Anne in Southern California. Yes, I have a green thumb. Have so many house plants and a vegetable garden there in Southern California.
Nice.
Cool stuff. So a lot of welcomes coming in here. I want to show some folks or our audience here, because they have a couple of questions. We're going to get to the questions too. Some of the photos from your incredible garden that you've created. First, tell us the spot where you're at,
Right.
that you, what was the very first major project that you did in Los Angeles?
My current spot or just period in Los Angeles?
I would say, yeah, anywhere in Los Angeles, and then we'll sort of bring it to the current spot you're in.
My first major project was the community garden space in Watts. That was the first major project utilizing that space. That's where I think that was my first major project in Los Angeles. Just revitalizing that space and then taking care of it on a consistent basis, and meeting new community members and getting the students interested in gardening and growing. So that was my first project.
That's fantastic. So then that led you to where you're at now. Tell us about where you're at now and what was, because we're going to show some photos, some really cool shots, and we've got some video too, of where you're at now there in Los Angeles. What was the property like before the farmer Ken got a hold of it and turned it into this magical space that it is now?
Okay, so it's terraced. A lot of the property is concrete, except for I have a big hill in the backyard that's not concrete, but there's some terrace levels to get there. So the front yard just had this big bush, and the backyard, and it had a big bush and then a big grapevine taking over the whole space. It shaded the whole area. It's a patio, but you couldn't really utilize it. The backyard space is terraced, as you can see from the photos. Behind me in that photo is the hill, and that hill is just all dirt. And so that's where I put my food forest, on the top of that hill. And then the levels where I'm standing at is next to a small strip of in-ground planting in between the retaining walls. And I have some dwarf citrus varieties and mint in the understory there. And then raised beds on that level below. And so I put a couple of raised beds on top of the cement on that side. And then there's 6 more on the other side.
Yeah.
And then there's in-ground planting to the right of that photo as well.
Wow. So that wall that is there, was that wall already there?
The wall was already there, but there wasn't anything there. It was just grass, and there's 3 prickly pear cacti on the top of the hill, and then there's a couple of trees, and then that's all. Other than that, it was just grass. And it dies because it dies in the summertime because we don't get rain for half the year. That was all in that space. And then the other space, like where the cement is at, okay, so that was just a blank space there. And then going up the stairs to the right, that was just cement. And then I added the raised beds, and then way on the edge there were some paver stones. So I took up the paver stones and exposed the soil, and that's where I did some in the ground planting.
That is incredible. Yeah, these shots are really something, what you've done here with this. It's really amazing, and just really cool stuff. And, thanks for sending along the photos. I like this one too. You just look like, hey, welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. What was the transformation process like? Again, this is beautification of an urban area, but it's also providing, usable resources to the community as well, which I think is great. I'm sure it was an exhaustive, but a labor of love process, huh?
Yeah, I did a little at a time. I have the front space I transformed and made I have a lot of lavender plants, lemon eucalyptus, and then I made a patio pond. And so that was like a little peaceful, tranquil spot to go to. And I think I built that a year ago. And I just kind of did a little bit at a time, so I wasn't overwhelmed. And so I do a combination of in-ground planting. I have whiskey barrels that I plant in. I have these things called grow bags, which I grow potatoes in and carrots. Yes, potatoes and carrots. I'm using the grow bags this year, and onions. And so then I have some containers with plants in them as well, and then the whole food forest growing technique on the top hill. So I utilize a lot of different ways of growing.
You ever since moving to LA with all this experience and taking this on, I know you've, like you said, the phone keeps ringing. You've been very busy, featured on television and in the papers, and you're here on the Jim Master Show Live, which we really enjoy. The phone must really ring off the hook. You almost probably feel like you need 2 cell phones, right? One here and one here to take all the calls. But since you're the farmer Ken, you don't use the cell phones. This is how you answer the calls, huh?
We call that Zook Mobile. Zook Mobile. It's a joke with a couple of my farmer friends. We have a hashtag Zook Mobile going on. We started last year.
For zucchini, yeah, right.
Yeah. So we that's from the photo from that.
That's, you're onto something there. You know how everybody's talking about helping the environment and clean energy and all these different things, an edible phone.
Yeah.
You use it once and then you grow another one. And
Exactly.
that is cool. And then this is the one we showed earlier. I mean, look at that. Tell
That's
us
called a
about this one.
trombone squash.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the name of it.
I mean, the setting too, like behind you, it looks really nice. You've done a lot of nice work there, I think it's just really fantastic. I want to show a couple more. We've got some more photos and other cool things to show along the way. Some of the things that you're growing too. Tell us about this. We'll go through a couple of cool shots here.
That's the trombone squash forming. And
So
and actually, yeah, that's that. And actually, believe it or not, I've had that thing for 10 months. It survived the winter. You don't get frost where I live. Yeah, it survived the winter. It slowed down production, but I was still getting some squash in December and January. And now I have like 20 on the plant again. So it survived the winter here. And that was my first year growing it last year.
So what we're seeing there is the early stages of that. That's what it turns into. Wow. Yes. That is cool. That is cool. Here's some more.
Those are some of my purple carrots. I planted those in the wintertime for a nice harvest in early spring. In Los Angeles, in the frost-free areas, we can grow year-round, and so we grow our cool season crops in the wintertime. So November, December, January, February, March, it's pretty much our cool season crops, and then the rest of the year we grow our summer crops.
Really, really cool. I love that. This is cool. Here's another one. Look at this.
Yes, I was harvesting for my so I have a couple. It was for a farmer's market, so I was harvesting some kale and cherry tomatoes and some peas. Now my cherry tomatoes survived the winter too. Tomatoes will survive the winter if you don't get a frost. So I've had those cherry tomatoes for over a year, and they produced all throughout the winter. They slowed down production, of course, in the winter, but I still was getting cherry tomatoes in December and January. And then now it's back into full production. I have farmers market. I do the farmers market in Altadena, which is right next to Pasadena. And then I do this market once a month called Prosperity Market. They're also a pretty cool market. They're actually going to launch a mobile market starting later this year. And
Are they really?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool concept that they're doing.
So like this here, Prosperity, right?
Yes, Prosperity Market. So I do that one. Right now they're doing monthly pop-ups in different communities. So we did Inglewood, we did Hollywood, and then we did Malibu this past Saturday. And so we do the monthly pop-ups, and then they're going to have a mobile grocery store coming later this year.
So what is the Prosperity Market? Tell us about that. Sounds like a great thing that you're involved in.
Yeah, so it's a market just highlighting local farmers and farmers who don't get a lot of recognition in the space. And so I'm one of I think there's maybe like 2 or 3 farmers that are there, local farmers. And so it's a pretty cool concept. And there's also other vendors too, like there's a couple of juice vendors and clothing vendors and jewelry. And so it's a pretty cool concept. I'm really looking forward to when they get the market started, the actual mobile market. I will be one of the farmers who will be providing some of the produce for them. I have produce and I have eggs. I have chickens. So I also sell eggs and herbs and then vegetables at the farmers markets.
Actually, we've seen evidence of that. That is cool.
You have.
I mean, that is cool.
Yes, those are some of my hens. Those are the white ones are called silkies. They have the fluffy hair, and then that's a New Hampshire hen in the back with the brown one. So I have like 5 different breeds.
The one on the right, it looks like it's saying, "Excuse me, don't bother me right now."
Right.
I have to go get my hair done. Now, the expressions on these two, this is really cool. Look at these two. You
Yeah, I
talking to
think
me?
yeah, that one's called a Americana, the one on the left. Americanas lay blue eggs. And so
Blue
that's my
eggs.
Americana. Yeah, her name's Ebony on the left. And then on the right, her name is Patty, like Patty LaBelle.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So she has a nice, you know, how Patty LaBelle used to have the big hair and the
Yep.
hats, I guess, in the 80s. And then she's loud too. So you know how Patty has that big bolsterous
Very
voice, and so
boisterous. Right.
yeah. So those are their names. And so Patty is she's a Polish. That's the breed for her, Polish hen.
So what do you think they're saying to each other in this shot?
Probably
Who
like,
has
what's he
who has
doing?
yeah, who has the upper hand here?
Yeah.
Who's ruling the roost?
Right.
That is a great shot. So is this one too.
That's Josie. She's also an Americana. So
I
she
like how you
lays
have
blue
names for
eggs.
them. Yeah.
She is so chickens have a pecking order, and she's actually the top of the pecking order of my flock.
That is cool. That is cool. Kathleen says so cute as far as the photos, and Tesla Bella says beautiful photos, and Linda says my dad raised chickens and showed some at the county fair, and Tesla Bella, Patty LaBelle meets Cruella DeVille. I laid more eggs than you this week. Austin Field says they are pretty hens. Tess says, beautiful photos. Oh my gosh, I want to hug them. Ken, you're a blessing. Yeah, we only have great guests on our show as well. And Anne says she'll have to check it out because she is there in Southern California. She's
Oh, she
seen you.
is.
Yeah, exactly. Merlin in Canada says she loves spaghetti squash. So that probably answered your question. You noticed in one of the photos, chicken wire. She says wire. Why? And because you have the chickens, right? To keep them sort of from running away.
Right. Because I'm in the city of LA, and so I have them in an area, so they free range in an enclosed area. So they have their coop, and they can go in and out as they please. I don't my chickens aren't caged, so they can go in and out, but I have them in an enclosed area because there's we have predators, like there's coyotes in the area, and so I have to make sure they don't get snatched.
And they come into the city to the
I
city
have some
lines.
near my
Wow.
area. Yeah, they're here, and where I'm at, there's a lot of hills, and so I have a coyote actually snatched one of my hens last year. And like dug under my space, and I had to reinforce and put some wire under the soil, and so I had to keep them. I have them; they can free range within a contained area, but unfortunately, I can't let them out and let them free range all the time because I see hawks as well. So some predators that will grab them.
Yeah, scoop them right up. Two-legged and four-legged,
right?
All of the above.
Yeah.
Here's another shot here. Tell us what we're seeing here.
Yeah, so that's I was making an herb blend, an Italian herb blend. So that's African blue basil, which is one of my favorite basils on the top. African blue basil is a perennial basil in frost-free climates. So places like Southern California, Southern Florida. African blue basil is one that you can let flower. It doesn't mess with the taste. It's a sterile hybrid, so it doesn't produce seed. You can only get more from cuttings. So it lasts for years, and it grows 5 to 6 feet tall, 3 to 5 feet wide. And so that's one of my favorites. And you don't have to use as much because it's very intense. And then I have oregano, sweet marjoram, a couple of different varieties of thyme. And then I have some rosemary and some sage. And I have pesto basil in there as well. And so I tried that out and made a fresh blend for Italian seasonings for cooking.
Do you cook? Are you a master chef?
Oh, I make some like that squash that I showed you. I made 4 different meals out that one squash.
Because when I come out on another TV shoot to LA, I'm stopping by.
Come on by.
You mentioned the eggs too, and there we have, huh?
Yes, so I have Moran's. Moran's lay the dark chocolate egg, and then the
Oh,
blue eggs are the Americanas, and then my the Silkies, they lay like the cream color egg, light brown tannish color, and then the Rhode Island and New Hampshire's, they lay the brown egg as well. So I have a lot of varieties. And people are asking me, "Well, do you dye your eggs?" I'm like, "No, it's the breed determines that." No, I didn't dye any of these eggs.
because you don't see them everywhere. I know here in the Northeast, especially in the New England area, they feature the choice of the
Mhm.
white eggs or the brown eggs as well. And it is
Right,
people sometimes will ask, are they dyed or how do you get the color? But
right,
it's the type of hen, right?
right.
That
Yes, type
is.
of pen.
See, you learn something new every day, Lovedies, on the Jim Master Show Live. Now, here's some of the beginnings here. What do we have here happening?
That's moringa, which is a super, it's one of the super foods you can have. It has a lot of different benefits, and that's a moringa plant that I started from seed, and so it's
Wow.
coming on out now. So if you check out moringa, you guys. There's a lot of people sell it dried, and you can sometimes find the plants as well. It's hardy to maybe USDA zone 8. It doesn't like a hard frost. It'll die back to the
Yeah.
ground. You may be able to, it may actually be like 8B9 is when it's hardiness, but it can't tolerate like a big freeze. It'll
Yeah.
die back to the ground, but it's great for it comes from Africa and I believe also India. Um,
Mm,
and so it grows very fast and very well in the warmer climate.
mm. Here's another shot here.
Those are some of my strawberries. I get strawberries year round too. I have them in my food forest, so they're in the understory of the food forest. Food forest growing technique is basically mimicking nature. I do not plant my fruit trees 10, 20 feet apart like a typical orchard. I plant them like you would find in nature. So there's some trees in the understory and some that are taller, depending on their shade, what kind of shade they need. And I grow dwarf varieties of some of the trees to keep them smaller, but you can still grow a full size variety of trees. You have to prune your fruit trees anyway, so you can kind of control how large they get. And then I utilize all the space, all the vertical and horizontal space. So I have on the understory mint plants. I have different herbs, rosemary and thyme and sage, oregano, and then I have strawberries, on the understory. I have vines that climb up the tree. So just utilizing the full space and this permaculture growing technique, so you don't till your soil. You can add to your soil, but it's very great for the environment because you're not tilling your soil, depleting of nutrients, killing all your bacteria and wildlife that are in the soil. It keeps you don't have to till because everything's self-sustained. You pull in
Right.
pollinators into the space. I see so many honeybees. If you want honeybees in your space, grow African blue basil, grow lavender, I grow sunflowers, rosemary when it's blooming brings a lot of bees, and those are my top plants and I see honeybees every day year round.
Mm, mm.
So
So when the strawberries, come to maturity, uh, do you just pick them off and eat them, or do you make jams? Do you do different things with them?
I've been picking them off and eating them because they're still growing, and so I don't have a massive field yet. I have different sections of them, and then they're all getting ripe at different times. I have most of mine are ever-bearing. So ever-bearing strawberries, instead of having June-bearing strawberries get ready around all at once and like
Right.
around June, right?
And then they pop.
Ever-bearing,
Yeah.
yeah, and the ever-bearing you get them for an extended period of time. And so I have strawberries. I had some strawberries in the winter time this year, kind of odd, but I still have some strawberries in the winter. Um, but I get them like year round,
I,
some of them.
I think what's really cool is what you said earlier when you were talking about the fruit trees, and you do them as close to the natural setting as possible. So, like in this case, when you come in, whether it's this particular community garden that is there by your property, or if somebody brings you in to, because I know you get called and hired and brought in to do this work for others as well. You like to keep it as natural as possible, as close to the way it would be in a natural, untouched setting, right? That's important to you.
Yes, I try to incorporate some native plants if I can in the space, and then also if there's areas like raised beds, you really don't have to worry about because you can just put it right on top of the soil, right, or right on top of whatever, or in the containers. But you know, in ground planting, I'll always add nutrients in, but I don't till like I don't do like a deep tilling. I just try to lightly turn over the soil and mix it in with the native soil, whatever enrichment material I'm using.
Do you do a
But
compost pile at all?
I have a compost pile. Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And so I utilize that. The chicken manure is great for the compost pile, and
Yep.
you know I use that in my space. I grow organic. I don't have my organic certification yet because it takes 3 years to. You have to be growing in your land for 3 years to do it, but I do grow organic, so I can say I use organic practices, right? So I everything that I do, I grow organic. My chickens are fed organically, and they forage, you know, naturally. Since they're not in the cage, they can, you know, take their dust baths, what they love to do, and eat insects and everything else that they should be doing, and not, you know, not being in cages. So they're able to do all of that, and then I grow organically. So I don't use any. I use chicken manure. I use worm castings, worm casting tea. Then I have a couple partnerships. One with AgroThrive, and they have organic fish emulsion fertilizer, and then another one with Vermees Terra, and they have worm castings and worm casting tea. So I utilize both of those in my growing. And then I have, as far as organic pest control, I use neem oil diluted with water, and that's great for like your aphids and your ants and your scale. And then I use BT for the cabbage looper worms that you see from time to time that eat your greens and leafy vegetables. And I use what were you getting ready to say?
Somebody, you are intuitive. You're a mind reader, because one of our lovely viewers asked about that. It's Juanita in South Africa. She goes, Ken, how do you deal with pests?
Yes.
So you knew that before I even asked it.
those are my. I have ants occasionally, scale, aphids, and I have the cabbage loopers, which come from the cabbage butterfly, that white butterfly with the black dots on it. They lay their eggs on like cabbage and broccoli and collard greens, and then you see these little green worms eating them. And so you can use BT, which is a natural. It's a natural bacteria that it changes the pH of their gut, and so it kills them naturally. So that's pretty much what it does. Stop eating your leaves. Or sometimes I just pick them and give them to the chickens. If I see them, I just pick them up and just give them to the chickens. They love it. It's pretty entertaining to watch. You know,
absolutely.
So and so, you know, that's pretty much. I think that's all the pests I really have. I don't have any other. I don't have any other pests.
Do you get beetles, Japanese beetles at all?
Nope, I don't get them.
No, get them.
Yeah, I don't get them.
I know they at East Coast you can get them.
Oh
here.
yeah.
The beetles probably got them in Ohio too, right? They come in and the aphids, right? Exactly. Yeah, the roses, aphids love roses too.
They do.
My parents had roses in their backyard for years and years and years, and they'd always have to take care of it naturally. They wanted to do it naturally with the aphids because they can destroy the plant immediately.
They can. And interestingly, you know, a lot of times you'll find ants around aphids or scale because ants farm aphids and they farm scale. Scale and aphids eat honeydew. They eat the juices from the plants, and in return they produce honeydew, which ants love. It's a nice sweet liquid for them, right? A nice treat. So they harvest them and move them around, and they kind of protect them and stuff like that. So they farm them like cows, right? So you'll notice them around your aphids and your scale, you know, at times. And so that neem oil is derived from the neem plant, and it's a natural alternative for growing and
Austin,
you know, having your plants.
Absolutely. Austin Field says this is very interesting. Juanita in South Africa says we keep some bees. They are amazing little animals. And Jennifer in Allentown, Pennsylvania asked, Ken, do you have honeybee hives? Harvest honey. She loves honey.
So I'm thinking about getting honeybees. I'm actually in the process of finalizing a USDA Farm Service Agency loan, and I'll be getting more land. I'll have an acre property, and so when I get that property, I am considering having some honeybees. So looking forward to that. I don't know what I'm doing, so it'll be a new experience for me, right? But I have a couple friends that are beekeepers, and they said they would help. So I'm really considering it because I have them. I bring them in the space. I have so many of them. They're everywhere, and they come every day. So
Anne asks, she's in Jacksonville, Florida. She says, do you ever have nematodes in the soil?
I haven't seen them, but I've seen grubs occasionally, and I give those to the chickens when I dig them. I have this one pot with it's one of my whiskey barrels, and I have like some strawberry mint in it. So there's different mint varieties. I have pineapple mint, strawberry mint, chocolate mint, spearmint, peppermint. Just to name a few. And I sold some of those on my Etsy shop. The pineapple mint, strawberry mint, and the spearmint. I have a trio package, and I do them at the farmers markets too, right? But there's some that's always in one of my mint, with half whiskey barrels. So I just dig them up. I know they're in that one. And there's from this fig eater beetle here. So here in LA, we have this beetle called a fig eater beetle. So they kind of look like the Japanese, like the grubs kind of look like Japanese beetle grubs, but they're fig eater beetle grubs.
Right.
And it's this like large green iridescent beetle that flies around clumsy, and it kind of sounds like a humming, kind of sounds like a bumblebee or a hummingbird, right? But it's just clumsy knots and stuff, right? So the larva from that, I dig those up, and that's a treat for my chickens. That's how I get rid of them. Just dig them up, toss them in, with the chickens, and they love them. They'll like play a game. One of them will get them, and then they'll all chase after that one, and then so
they love it.
Yeah, that's how I get rid of those.
Couple more. Juanita in South Africa says moringa is very popular here, especially for weight loss.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great superfood, and it's picking up some notoriety in the past couple of years, but it's been around for centuries. It's a great one to have.
I think it was Jennifer Barry way back. She had asked something about do you do water gardens?
I have I have a small pond in my space where I have I think you saw a picture, and I had like a suit on it, and I was standing there and around like I think my pond, that's by my pond. So I have like a patio garden space with like a lot of potted. Yes, I'm right. I'm staring at my pond. So
very dapper as you stare at them.
so I'm by my pond space. That's my front space that I was telling you about. My pea space. And so that's a grapevine trailing on a trellis. That's on the upper left-hand corner is one of my eucalyptus trees, and that one is called it's a lemon eucalyptus. So it smells like pines on the way, right? It smells like strong citronella smell, and it's a beautiful smell. And then I have my patio pond. I have some water lilies in there, and a couple of fish, and some succulents around it, and a couple of potted plants as well.
That is fantastic. And the suit comes from where? It's a good shot. It looks like a magazine cover, doesn't it?
I don't know. It's a secret. That was my birthday picture. That was my birthday. Yeah, I took a couple little mini photo shoot.
It looks like a magazine cover. It's like come welcome to my backyard, and we're serving martinis over on the left. It has that look. Sure that wasn't taken in Malibu, or
no, it was taken in the yard.
I was gonna say, here's another fun shot here.
Oh, so this is one of my so this plant's from my grandmother, the one that passed away, right? So that's a geranium called beefsteak. It's called a beefsteak geranium. It's an heirloom variety. It used to be popular like back in the day, right? Probably like in the 1950s,
The
60s.
shoot is very tall, taller than the most geraniums. They don't
Yeah.
reach that sort of height like that. Yeah.
Yeah, this one gets very nice pink flower and it's tall. And I started that from a cutting. I took a small cutting from the main plant and rooted it and then planted it. And so that's how I got my geranium. So I have a piece of my grandmother in my space with me. And that's
That's
lemongrass
nice.
behind that. So
Oh, that's what
yeah,
that is.
yeah,
Wow. That's really nice. I like that. Cool stuff. We got some more here. Is
this
that
is that's a blackberry and
that's the
it's a
blackberry?
thornless one. It's called Freedom Art Blackberry and it's great for warm environments. It's a thornless variety. So here's the trick. If you live in a warm environment that's frost free, you can grow fruit that you normally find in cool climates, like deciduous trees, so pears, peaches, nectarines, apples. You can grow your blackberries, blueberries, any of those things, right? You can grow all of those, but you need a variety called low chill. Chill hours are hours below 45 degrees, and we don't get a lot of those in LA. If you get a low chill variety of any of those fruit trees I just mentioned, apricot's another one. I forgot to mention that one, right? So any of those varieties that are low chill, they will do well here because chill. When the trees lose their leaves, they go through dormancy. It helps reset for the upcoming growing season. And so if you get a low chill variety, they don't need a lot of cold hours to break dormancy. So um, if you want an apple tree, my top one, and you live in a frost-free climate or a very warm climate, like in Florida, southern Florida, maybe southern Texas, and then southern California, or even like some of the middle part of California that don't get a lot of chill hours, right? Anywhere that you don't get a lot of frost, or you don't get any frost, right? Apple trees, some of my favorites are the Anna apple. Anna apple will give you 2 to 3 harvests a year. I get a harvest last year I got a harvest in July and I got a harvest in December. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and sometimes it'll be 3. Like this year, I think I have 3. I have a couple fruit that'll be ready now, and then I have probably like another month. I have some fruit that'll be ready in July or August, and then it'll bloom again in August, and then I'll get more fruit in the back end. Blackberries, Freedom Art Blackberry is a great one to have. If you do pears, Hood pears one, Southern, there's another called Southern King pear. Panamint nectarines, a great one to have. Fantasia nectarine is another one. Golden Dorset apple is a great low chill variety. Beverly Hills apple is a great low chill variety to have. Um,
What's a
Florida.
Beverly Hills? What is a Beverly Hills apple like? Is it made
Um,
of gold?
It'll give you some gold and nice apples in a warm climate.
I'm
So
having a Beverly Hills apple for lunch today with some avocado.
that is
When I come
hilarious.
back to California, I'm going to try Beverly Hills apple.
So yeah, Beverly Hills apple, a good one. Santa Barbara peach is
What do they
another
call it?
one
A
that's great.
90210? I'm having a 90210 right now, apple.
I'll make sure you get one of them from my apple tree.
That is funny. You mentioned Santa Barbara too?
Santa Barbara peach is a peach tree that does well here. It was
Nice.
made it's a Santa Barbara. They was established there, and so that's another great one to have. Lilac trees in California, they need more dormancy, so they're kind of hard to. Well, you can have them in some parts of California, but Southern California they may struggle a bit because we don't get that dormancy. My grandmother had several of them growing up, and I love the fragrance of them. You can grow them in parts of California that get colder in the wintertime. I think they struggle a little bit here in the LA area.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions while we're live, feel free to pop in here. Trying to scroll through just to see. Tesla Bella says she's obsessed with orchids. Would love some tips on how to hang them on the trees there in Florida.
Oh, I don't know how much I can help with that one because I've had orchids before, but I've had them as houseplants. I did get them to grow to flower again, and some people struggle with that, but I did get them the flower again. I don't grow them here because we don't have the humidity, so I don't grow them. It's too high maintenance for me here because we're very dry in the climate here in LA. So people think LA is a desert, and we're not a desert. We're a Mediterranean climate. So we have hot warm, dry summers. We have cool to mild, wetter winters. We only get about 16 inches average a winter of rain, but we're not a desert. So that's a misconception that people have. And so I can't grow a lot of the plants that take a lot of humidity. They won't do well here outdoors. Like like orchids, they will struggle a bit. And then I can't grow coconuts because they won't make it here because we don't get the humidity. But other than that, everything else, I do pretty well growing
No,
here.
no
Pretty much
coconuts. So
grow.
you got to go over to Maui for those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I can't grow them. Can't grow them here. I think there's like, if you look, I think somebody tried to grow one in San Diego and they did get to a nice age, but they never really produced
It
never
never.
really produced the coconuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pineapples
This is
struggle a bit here too, but you can get them to grow and pop. I've heard people have more success growing them in containers, so you can have a more controlled environment.
Tess in Florida says you're right. It's a struggle to get them to bloom. Um, but she is in Florida, so they have plenty of coconuts
Yeah, you can grow
and
them there.
and pink flamingos.
Yes, you do.
Lots
You
of
can
pink
grow the
flamingos.
coconuts. Yeah, no
But
problem there.
you're big also with the sunflowers too, right?
I grow them year round. If you're in a frost-free climate here in LA, you can grow them year round. I have my favorite are the red sunflowers. I have a mix called chocolate cherry that's still in my Etsy shop and at some of the farmers market. They're a beautiful red sunflower, and people are like, I never knew sunflowers could come in all these colors. But yes,
Yeah.
I have red ones and orange ones are my favorite ones to grow. And I had them blooming at Christmas time. I had some red sunflowers at Christmas this past year.
Really? I think because
Yeah,
most people they see the yellow ones, the big, bright, vibrant yellow
yeah.
ones, and I don't know if they
Hmm.
realize that there are other colors
Hmm.
available, huh?
There's red and orange and any combination in between there. I have a dark one that's almost look like a chocolate color, and then I have like some intense red colored ones. I've had some orange ones with rings around them of yellow and like any variation.
Do you do anything with the seeds? Like Jennifer says, love sunflower seeds. Do you dry the seeds at all and
Okay,
consume them?
so some of them produce really small seeds, like the red ones. Their seeds aren't big. Mammoth sunflowers produce large seeds, and I have dried them and I've roasted them and then ate them before, right? But some of the sunflower seeds are really small, so it is beautiful to look at and to bring in pollinators. But you won't really have much meat in the seed because they're like a third of the size of like the big sunflower seeds that you eat.
Right, right, exactly. Here's another great shot. This is cool. That's really nice.
Oh, and that's called rock and roll rose. That's a variety of rose right there. And sentimental rose looks kind of similar to that, but this one's called rock and roll. Very intense floral rose fragrance and beautiful splashes of white and red and pink. And each flower is different variation.
So, like we were saying, Austin Field says, didn't know sunflowers came in different colors. So, yeah, learning new things here. But Tess says, no squash where she is in Florida as big as that swan.
You have to try the trombone squash. You'll get them that big, and all you need is one squash, and they'll last for years. I mean, oh, it could last at least a year in a frost-free area. All you need is one to produce a lot of squash for you. I got like 20 of one plant.
Yeah. So you have a mixture of vegetables, flowers. There's a variety of different things that are happening there at the garden as well, that
Right.
is a beautiful, beautiful variety of rose. Juanita in South Africa says we also have winter rain in the Western Cape and warm, dry summers. Always a struggle to get
Yes.
the garden to survive the summers. We often have water restrictions. Lots of aloes in the garden for this. That's cool too.
Yes. Aloes are great. I have some in my space. I have
You do.
my garden space in the drip irrigation system, so I can control the amount of water, and it only gets like water for maybe like 10 minutes a day or something like during the summer. But that drip irrigation helps as far as water waste. And then also a lot of plants. I try to incorporate a lot of native plants and a lot of drought tolerant plants, so I don't have to use a lot of water in my space as well. So I try to incorporate as much as I can. Like mint plants have drought tolerance once established. Avocados do very well here. And citrus, they have drought tolerance once established. Pomegranates, drought tolerance once established. Figs, same thing. So I have like all of those plants. They're very, very great in that space. Then I have like some native plants, like some native, like a desert mallow, and then I have white sage and different things like that. Those are all California native. So they do elderberry. I have blue elderberry here, which is California native, and that's another health food. And so
Right.
elderberry, it's a native here, and it's drought tolerant, so it's a great one in your space.
That is really, really cool. It's such a variety of things you have going on there, Ken. Here's we actually have a little short. We got a couple of different videos, but we've got this
Oh,
nice short one here.
you do.
You have some friends that like to stop by every once in a while and enjoy the garden, and here's one of them. That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that a monarch? That looked like a monarch butterfly. One of
It's
the
a monarch.
monarchs.
It's a
Yeah.
monarch butterfly, and it's okay. So interestingly, the monarch butterflies west of the Rocky Mountains come to Southern California coastline in the wintertime, in the central area coastline as well. The monarchs east of the Rockies, and the East Coast, your monarchs, they go to southern Florida and to Mexico for the winter. And so yeah, that's just a little interesting fact so about the migration of monarchs. So I have monarchs in my space. I see them a lot, and they larvae as well.
Jennifer in Allentown, Pennsylvania says, I love orange monarch butterflies. I don't even know if a lot of people realize that the butterfly, they know the birds and other animals go south, but I don't think that a lot of people would know that the butterflies do it too. That they probably think it's just a one season thing and then that's it. And they go underground or whatever, but they head south.
Yeah, they head south
for the coconuts and pink flamingos.
Yeah, the last they have several different cycles throughout the year, but the last cycle they head south for the winter time to restart the cycle for the next year to hibernate and then restart. Yeah.
Got another friend here, I think.
She's really friendly.
Yeah, who was that?
Her name's Minnie, like Minnie Mouse.
That's Minnie.
Yeah.
It's good to have friends that are there along, for the ride. We have another sunflower shot. This one here.
Yes, that's one of my favorites. There, I was telling you there's different combinations. That one has
Yeah.
the shade of red with the yellow. So that's one of my favorites to grow.
Juanita says beautiful. Karen in Nova Scotia says love pomegranates. Jennifer says the small sunflower seeds. Can you feed the birds sunflower seeds?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, they come in the space and they eat them all the time. Yeah, they love them. So I use that. They definitely come. Plant milkweed. Oh, yes. So here's a little controversy about milkweed. There's a milkweed called tropical milkweed. So tropical milkweed. There's a controversy here in Southern California and around this and around the country, I guess, as well. But tropical milkweed in warm climates, it still produces flowers throughout the winter. And there's a controversy for two things. It may disrupt the migratory habit of the monarch butterflies. And secondly, by it not dying back in the winter, it can create this bacteria that the larvae eat, and then it could kill the larvae or butterflies. So if you do grow tropical milkweed, this is what you do. Cut it back in the wintertime. Cut it back in like maybe October or November. Cut it back down to the ground so that it'll come back out because it's a perennial, so it comes back every year. But by cutting it back down to the ground, you prevent flowers from still being around and disturbing the migratory habit. So if you cut it back down to the ground in your fall and winter, and then let it come back out in the spring, and that's how you just get around that, and then you won't have any issue with the tropical milkweed. So I do have tropical milkweed in my space, and I cut it back in the wintertime.
That is cool. That's good to know. Another tip here on JMS Live from the farmer Ken. Here is another. This one's nice too.
That's called yarrow. It is a native plant too, and it's drought tolerant once established. And if you ever had yarrow tea, that's where it comes from. The flowers of that. It's a great health plant to have, yarrow.
Yes, and when visiting California, I see it almost everywhere. It really is very, very beautiful. Is it tough to maintain? Does it demand a lot of attention and care, or does it
No,
take care of itself?
I don't do anything to that plant. It takes care of itself. It's drought tolerant, it's heat tolerant. It just does its thing. The bees love it too, so it's a great one to bring in pollinators.
And that's good. I know some people are like, "Oh, I hate the bees," but we need the bees, right? The
Oh, you need
bees
the
are
bees.
dwindling in
Oh
supply.
yeah, you definitely need the bees, and I like doing interplanting techniques. So I plant flowers along with my vegetables. I just don't do monocrops. I plant vegetables and flowers and fruit trees, and I like growing and planting that way because I bring in the pollinators in the space, and then they help with your pollination. I do hand pollinate some things too, like my squash. So my squash, my cucumbers, and my pumpkins, I hand pollinate. Which is really easy to do. All you need is a small watercolor paintbrush and or a Q-tip. And then squash and pumpkins, cucumbers, they have male flowers and female flowers. They bloom in the morning time. So you have to hand pollinate in the morning. And by doing that, you just simply, you have this, you take pollen from the male plant with your paintbrush, and then you rub it inside the female plant, the female flower, not plant. You take
Yeah.
pollen from the male, the male flower, and rub it into the female flower. So plants produce both male and females. But when the plants first start producing, you may see a lot more male flowers because they're trying to draw pollinators into the space. But after like a couple of weeks, you'll start seeing males and females. Female flowers have a swollen bulb on the bottom and look like a mini fruit, and the males don't. And that's how you can tell the difference between the male and females. And that goes for squash, it goes for your pumpkins, it goes for your cucumbers. So they're all in a similar family. So all of those you can hand pollinate simply with a paintbrush or a Q-tip. Now you need a paintbrush for the cucumbers because the flowers are really small. But like the squash, you can use a Q-tip if you don't have a paintbrush. The water
Now,
paint goes.
how long is that process? Is that a very tedious process to do it? Because are you
About 30
going into
seconds.
that's it?
It depends how many flowers you have, but I'd say
Right.
about 30 seconds per flower per pollination you need to do. It doesn't take long at all. You see a male flower with pollen, you see some female flowers, you scoop some pollen, dab it on there, and just put it inside the female. Make sure you get it in there nice and good and go around a little bit, and that's it. It's really easy to do. And you can hand pollinate corn as well. Corn is pollinated by the wind. It's not pollinated. That's your main
Right.
pollination for corn. And so if you're ever growing corn and you notice your kernel isn't all the way full, like you have gaps in your kernels or spaces, is because all the kernels didn't get pollinated. The silks of the corn, each individual silk needs to be pollinated. And so the silks that don't get pollinated will have a gap in your corn. And so if you take to pollinate corn, I just take the tassel. The tassel is the long stalk that comes up and the pollen comes off the tassel. I usually cut a couple of them off and just dab it on like a paintbrush along the silks, and that's hand pollinating your corn. That's a quick and easy way to do it. You can also tap your tassel with and collect the pollen in a small paper bag, and then sprinkle that along your tassel as well. So there's a couple of different techniques.
That
You
is
can
very,
hand
very
pollinate that as well.
cool. Yeah, that is absolutely cool. Lakeisha Bean says, "Hello, cousin Kenny.
Oh
Are you
yeah.
selling moringa yet?"
Yeah, I have moringas coming soon. I just started the plants, but I have 10 of them growing. So I will have moringa probably maybe in the middle of the summer. I have some nice big plants. And so,
So,
yeah.
um, do you have like a place where you sell things like online that people could go to as well? Some have asked about that.
Yeah. I have the Farmer Ken shop on Etsy. And so you
Etsy,
can
yeah.
get, yeah, that's how you get my products online. If you're local to LA, I'm on this app called Crop Swap, which you can pick up your produce or I can deliver locally. And I have these things called harvest boxes. So it's a little bit of everything that I'm growing at the time. It switches weekly depending on what's available, but it's a half bushel box of, you have squash and green onions and basil, thyme, oregano, sage, tomatoes. Like, it's just a variety. It switches every week. So I do sell those, as well as I have on my Etsy shop. I have a lot of seeds and plants, mint plants, and a lot of like the sunflower seeds. I have those on there. I have some herbal tea blends on there as well. And then I have, and then I do the farmers markets. That's the other thing. The Altadena farmers market is a virtual farmers market where you do your orders online, and then you pick up your orders, or you can have them delivered too. So if you're in the Pasadena, Altadena area, you can do that as well. And I have my produce on there, and some plants and seeds. And then the Prosperity Market is a once a month market, which is, if you're in LA area, it's a virtual market where you could do your orders online on, like, it's once a month on a Saturday, usually last Saturday of the month. Fridays are virtual, where you could virtually shop to pick up on Saturday, or you can just come to the market on that Saturday and pick, and and do your shopping. So there's a lot of cool vendors there as well.
Yeah, that is
So
cool. So you get out there and you get amongst the community as well, which I think is really, really something special. And again, the folks that live in the area where this particular garden is that you've created, how do they feel about it? They must love it, having that right there in their neighborhood, huh?
yeah, well, my neighbors are always they love it. One of my neighbors is like, I'm waiting for the papaya to get ready. I have papayas, I have bananas too. So I'm waiting for the papaya to get ready. I love some papaya. I need some papaya. As soon as it get ready, let me know. So, like, yeah, they definitely definitely, they've been very supportive. Um,
That's great. That's
yeah.
really, really cool. And you're, again, like you said, you're looking to expand the space, go larger.
I am. So I will be, I think in another month or so, I should be wrapping up and having more land, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll be able to grow a lot more, have a greater capacity, because right now I'm kind of tapped out. Like, I have four things that I'm doing on my land. I have the Altadena Farmers Market, I have my Etsy shop, I have the Crop Swap app, and I have Prosperity Market, and then I have to
Wow.
feed the household, right? So I I'm I'm at capacity,
And I have
and
to
other
feed
people have reached
the
out to me.
household. That's very
Yeah,
important. Don't forget that
yeah,
part.
yeah. So it's like, I've had other people reach out to me, and there's other initiatives that I definitely want to be a part of. I just couldn't do it at the moment because of the capacity, but I'll have the capacity to do it soon, and I'll be able to do a lot more. Like Lamert Park community in South LA, there's a growing food desert going on there right now. They just closed a Ralph store there
Oh, did
because
they?
they didn't want to pay the PPE extra pay for the employees,
Oh,
or not the PPE, the hazard pay. They didn't want to pay
yeah.
hazard pay for
Ralph's
the
didn't want to. Yeah.
no, so they closed, and so that creates a further food desert in South LA, right? And then I think another Ralph's closed in South LA area too, or Long Beach. So, because of the similar situation. So I
Wow. I know that Trader
I
Joe's took care of their
yeah,
uh, employees. They're very good with
yeah,
that.
yeah, they did. So I'm like, wow. I mean, they didn't want to pay hazard pay, which sucks. And so,
Yeah, because
you
they're
know,
they're like first responders, essential employees
yeah,
too, people in the supermarkets, and as much as others, because they had to go in, and you have the public coming in,
yeah,
especially during the height of it, and they have to go because we need to eat the food. It's
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I'm like,
I hmm, that's
yeah.
Jennifer asked, do you grow favorite pumpkins?
Oh, so I'm okay.
Pumpkins,
I'm glad you said it. This year I'm trying a bunch of different varieties of squash and pumpkins. I'm trying this Jarradale pumpkin, which is a blue pumpkin with orange flesh,
a
and a
blue
Casper
pumpkin.
pumpkin.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have a Casper too, which is a white colored one with orange flesh. So there are two new ones that I'm growing this year. Last year I grew jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. So this year I'm trying these two pumpkins. I'm trying out, those varieties to see how I do with them. So I'm really interested in this blue pumpkin, the Jarradale one. So yeah, I'm
Mm,
trying some new ones this year. I'm still growing the jack-o'-lantern as well
yeah,
this year too, but I want to try these new varieties that I haven't grown
that
before.
that is really cool. We got another shot here.
That's white sage, California native white sage, and that one's what a lot of people use in their sage smudges. And a lot of traditional, like, let me do like traditional medicine, like alternative medicine. Sage smudges, or to cleanse the space. So a lot of people use that for cleansing your space. Um, and it's like a smudge, and you can wrap it up, with some rope, and then you burn it in your space. Like, you just see, like, people say, I'm saging the space, or anything
Right.
like that, and that's
Right.
used for that. That's one of the uses for it. And
That
so
is cool.
this is eucalyptus. This one's called bookleaf Mallee eucalyptus, and you see this in floral arrangements a lot. But that's another one
Yes.
growing.
Is that
Beautiful
easy to
eucalyptus.
grow, or does that
Yeah, it's
require a lot of
easy.
attention?
It's easy. Eucalyptus is very so it's easy and fickle, I'll put it that way. Because a lot of people overwater it. It comes from
Yeah.
Australia, and they can tolerate dry and poor soils, but some people overwater them and then they die. So
Hmm.
um it can be fickle, but I haven't had any issues with it. I've seen some people struggle with it. But I have 6 different eucalyptus plants. Um or eucalyptus varieties. I think I have about 10 different plants. The eucalyptus thrives in Southern California, so you can plant it and it's drought tolerant. We have a lot of large, beautiful lemon eucalyptus growing and other eucalyptus species as well. So it thrives here.
Mm,
No issues at all.
no issues at all.
Yeah, even with neglect, it thrives.
Mm, that's incredible. There's another. That's a cool one. What are we
This
looking
one
at
is
here?
mustard. They're called Japanese giant red mustard greens.
Is that what
So if
that
you
is?
ever,
Wow.
yeah, if you ever have mustard greens, it's a Southern tradition.
Yeah,
Collard greens, mustard greens, turnip
sure.
greens, right? And so that's those are mustard greens. This is like a you see the curly mustard greens and you see the broadleaf variety. This is one of the broadleaf varieties, but it's a red broadleaf
Yeah,
variety.
that is cool. That is fantastic. Learning something new every day, folks, aren't we? Yeah. Look at this. That's nice
That's called
too.
mountain marigold, and it is a great one to grow. It's also called Mexican marigold, so it hails from Mexico, and it's a great one to grow in Southern California. It's drought tolerant. It's in the marigold family. It's just a different species. So your common marigolds that you see planted all the time, right? It's the same family, same genus, different species, and it's a beautiful one. Has a beautiful fragrance and it attracts a lot of pollinators in the space, and it grows to a very nice bush size.
Kathleen Walker in New York City watching on the Jim Master Show Live says very cool photos. And Marsha Lyon in Massachusetts says, do you sell sage smudge sticks and do you ship? They're placing orders on JMS Live already. We
They're
have a very
coming.
interactive audience. They're very passionate.
I'll have some for sale in about another month and a half. I do
So,
sell some. Yeah, I do.
so tell us again where they go. You'd say Etsy, in case they want to, learn more and place orders.
At the Farmer Ken shop,
So
and
the
that's
farmer
where I
can
have
shop at Etsy,
right,
ETSY, right? Yeah,
right.
Etsy.
If
So
you
go to
follow
Etsy.
me on Instagram at Farmer Ken Official. There's a link there to
Perfect.
everything. So you can find my Etsy shop. You can find my features on ABC 7 News and LA Times, Modern Farmer Magazine,
Do they call
and
you
all of that.
as a regular contributor? Not W. W is east of the Mississippi. K is west of the Mississippi. KABC. I was going to say WABC. Channel 7 there in LA. Do they have you pop on every once in a while?
Not yet, but I had that one feature with them back in late summer, early fall.
Which was
So
cool.
far,
Yeah.
yeah.
Karen says in Nova Scotia, Canada, I'm due for a new smudge stick. And LaPortia Ward, welcome, LaPortia. Great to have you here on our show. Never had the red leaf mustard greens. I'm very familiar with the mustard greens, but I never saw them red. So that's cool too. And LaPortia's learning about it as well, that you have that. That's really amazing.
Yeah.
What is your favorite plant in your garden? Is there, again, you have both. You have fruits, vegetables, flowers.
Mhm.
What are some of the maybe top 5, top 10 for you, your own list?
Oh,
I'm kind of like
yeah.
Letterman, the
So
top 10 list.
eucalyptus plants are my top. Uh, Eucalyptus, African blue basil, my mango trees, another one. Peaches are another one. Lavender is another one. It's one of my favorites. The rose that you showed a picture of is another one. That's one of my favorites to have. The rock and roll rose. And then I would say the let's see. I have I would do that. My apple trees are another one that's pretty cool. Um, and then I have let's see. I think
There's
probably
so
those are my
many,
top
right?
ones.
Sometimes it's like
Yeah,
overwhelming because there's so many.
yeah,
The
yeah. I think those
sunflowers,
are some of my
obviously, you
tops.
like those too.
Sunflowers, those are one of my
Yeah.
tops too. Um,
Yeah. Well, we know you love whatever this leaf comes from.
let's see. Does anyone know what that is? You,
Ken is playing, the farmer Ken is playing peekaboo with you. Look at the
anyone know what
size
this
of that.
plant is?
Yeah. What is, I mean, it looks bigger than a pumpkin leaf. What is it?
That's called thousand head kale.
Ah, Tess knew that. She goes, it's kale. Yes.
Yeah, it's a kale variety
Yes.
called thousand heads. It has a very large leaf. Look that one up, thousand heads kale, and it has
Thousand
perennial
heads kale.
tendencies too. Yeah, kale will last. Here in LA, I've had kale for like 2 or 3 years, and same with thing with collard greens. They just keep growing. So I've
Yeah,
had them
right.
forever.
Exactly.
Um,
Wow. That's cool. Somebody, we actually have Chef Kara. Bell Alex says, hi, I'm new to gardening since June 2020. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. Chef, it's a pleasure to have you here. Hope you watch regularly and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We're here live every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, with our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. And she says, do you offer meet and greet opportunities? I live in South Central Los Angeles.
so a lot of people that I meet and greet, they usually come to the farmers markets when I'm there, and then
Yeah.
I do some, yeah. Most of the people I meet, it's actually through the farmers market, or if I have my clientele, we do like when my clients we do a consultation first when we do a virtual consultation. So that's my initial meeting with my clients, and then after that, I come to their space. We plan out, and I come to their space and help them build their garden and teach them and learn and how to grow. So
Absolutely. Karen says that's a very large piece of kale. Absolutely. Marsha Line in Massachusetts says it's like trying to name your favorite child, as far as your top favorite plants. I looked you up on Instagram, now following. I plan to order some smudge sticks when they become available, which is fantastic. And Jennifer Barry says, I want to plant a memorial garden for her father. She's afraid it won't last. No green thumb here. Plant a fake flower garden, lol. fake roses. I don't uh, Tess says she takes kale in big leaves. Let's see, bring that up again. um, Sprays olive oil and dust with salt and bakes in the oven. Kale chips, oh, I've had kale chips, they're delicious. But
yes,
that
they
sounds
are.
really good with the olive oil and dust with the salt and bake it into the oven.
Right.
Mm. That sounds pretty. That sounds pretty good. Merlin in Canada says that we plant marigolds here. We do impatiens. We do a lot. We do a mix of annuals and perennials too. Here on the East Coast, we plant marigolds in our garden to fend off earwigs.
Yes, they're great for fending off some pests because of the scent of them. And so some pests don't like, things that are heavily scented like rosemary and marigold and some things like that. It kind of help deter the pest.
Yeah, that's and Karen says mango is her favorite fruit. Jennifer, who's in the mountains of Pennsylvania there in Allentown, what flowers can you grow that my mountain deer won't eat?
Some people have had success with some of the herbs, like your rosemary, and I would say try to experiment with some of the aromatic plants. So uh, sometimes a marigold will keep them away, or even if you grow like if you grow some thorny plants, they won't eat
Yeah,
those, or like
yeah.
some tougher plants. So I would experiment with some of those, and
Mm.
to see how they work. Some was about experimentation too. to find out what works best for your pest.
Exactly. That's right. Exactly. A couple more. This is a cool one.
Yeah, that's one of my peaches. My peach trees that's getting ready right now. This one's called Florida Prince Peach, and it bloomed in late January, and I have peaches getting ready now.
You know, it's amazing. And this is what we're looking at, folks, here on the show are just a few of the many things that he has as an urban farmer there in Los Angeles in this garden. But just the scope and variety of different things that we're showing, Farmer Ken, you would think that you're on like a 20-acre property
Yeah.
with a variety of things that you have.
Hmm.
It's absolutely, it's incredible. Do you have stores and local shops that patronize and want to buy the product from you and then they sell it in their shop because it's so local and it's so fresh?
I have some. A lot of it's been, well, the Prosperity Market shop that's
Yeah.
rolling out. My produce will be available there. And then I have some local vendors have reached out to me and they wanted, some fresh produce. So yeah, I do get some. One of the local vendors, I do lavender. She purchases fresh lavender and white sage from me she makes lavender smudges and sage smudges to sell along with her head wrap. So different things like that. So yeah.
That is really cool. We've got another great shot here.
That right there is that is a golden Dorset apple forming, which is a low chill variety. Golden Dorset apples do well as a pollinator for Anna apples, although Anna apples are self-pollinating, they do better with the Golden Dorset apple. So that's a Golden Dorset apple fruit developing.
Merlin in Ontario, Canada asks, are you yourself totally organic?
Yes, I am totally organic. So I eat what I grow.
And when did you become organic, or was it something you always were? Even back in Ohio, were you organic, or did that come later in life?
It came late, okay, of course, in Ohio growing up, I'd say the majority of the food was organic. We would still shop from the grocery store and things like that. And then when I was in college, of course, I was just eating whatever in college. But yeah, it's been off and on, but yeah.
You write those years off for eating healthy, right? That's so now you know what not to eat, I guess. Sort of that was what you were doing is you were doing a scientific experiment. You were using reverse psychology to know what not to eat.
Right.
Going on in your life. That is funny. Look at that.
That's a mango tree blooming. So those are little baby mangoes starting to form.
One of our viewers was mentioning loves mangoes, so that is he's even got the mangoes, folks. This is amazing, and
that's the
something
moringa.
starting. It's starting there.
Those are some squash babies I'm starting. Actually, that's a pumpkin. That is one of my Gerundale pumpkins that's starting to come out. I started planting in pots because I told you I was moving into the new land. So that way, when I move, I can transfer them over to the new land and then plant them, and they already have a jump start.
That is cool. That's what that is.
So this is the sidewalk. I took out the dead grass strip and put in some drought tolerant plants and native plants. So there's some lavender in that space. There's some nasturtium, which is one of my favorites to grow. It grows in fall, winter, and spring here, and they come back. They self-seed and come back, and they are completely edible. They're in the greens family, so you can lightly saute them. You can eat the flowers in a fresh salad and the leaves. And you can also use them to detour those pesky cabbage Lucas I was telling you about. They'll eat those if you plant those in your space instead of eating your greens. And then that's a sunflower in front of that. And the main picture is one of the red sunflowers growing. And that's self-seeded from sunflowers the previous year.
That is cool. That is cool. So we were mentioning also that people will call upon you to work on various projects as well. Tell us a little bit about
Right.
how that works and some of the kinds of projects that you work on.
Yeah, so there's been a couple of different projects. Okay, so a lot of my projects, I have clientele who want to start their own garden space. So from small apartments to like a patio space to to a rooftop garden space to in ground planting. And they usually reach out to me through Instagram or email. And then we do a virtual consultation where I kind of see the space and talk about what they love to grow. And then we talk about what season we're currently in and what you actually can grow and different varieties. Then I can consult on which varieties of plants may do better. So for instance, a dwarf okra plant might do better because okra can grow very tall if you have a compact space. Or I would suggest grow bush beans instead of growing the pole beans if you have a compact space, or different things like that. And then we can do a second part where I actually come to the garden space and we built your garden space. That can be raised beds. I can suggest what containers to give you on container gardening or etc. So I've followed all different types of projects. I've also had partnerships where I had a partnership with TikTok, for instance, where I had to do education farm series, just quick short videos as a part of their TikTok um, educational series that they did. Um, and then I have a couple other partners, Burmese Terra. Uh, I was talking about the worm castings, and then I have a partnership with Cook Cat Footwear last year, and so there's been a couple of different partners and opportunities, and so yeah, that's what I've been doing. Oh, and then some school partners. I'll do the virtual field trips with the students, from time to time. Um, so it's been a couple of different avenues that I've taken with the company lately.
Do you have kids that stop by too and that are amazed by it? That talking about educating and mentoring young minds, I would imagine kids would love to participate in this kind of thing and learn and appreciate nature, and especially when you're in a city environment, they don't always have access to fresh fruits and vegetables and to see the flowers, and it's not like they see a
Right.
chicken all the time, or a cow or what have you.
Yeah.
Uh, you bring kids in. How does it work with folks stopping
Yeah.
by?
It's been pretty much virtual for now. So it's been virtual field trips. They've been amazed, and we have, be as interactive as we can virtually. So LA, we're just now starting to open back up. We've been closed for over a year.
It's
So
been a tough,
yeah.
yeah, tough
So
place,
it's been
right?
all virtual. But yeah, they do come into space and learn and ask a lot of questions, and it's pretty cool.
What have you learned about maybe yourself through all of this? Obviously, as I said in the beginning of the show, you're combining your education and your passion for wanting to empower and inspire others with this true passion and love you've had since childhood of gardening and growing things and getting into the earth. And that's a passion I've always had as well, and I've exercised that and been surrounded by it, and I can't wait till we're not at the point yet where we can put things outside yet. There's tulips and daffodils and things that normally come back up that are up now.
Right.
There's hanging baskets like pansies and things that you can see available outside, but some of the other, we're waiting for a little bit more of a warmer. We're in the Northeast here, so a little bit more warmer temperatures, and there's no frost. We're done with the frost, but just waiting for a little bit more. I'd say
Right.
another week or so. But for you, what are some of the things that you've learned about yourself through all of this?
I've learned. Well, I guess I took it for granted, the gardening aspect and farming aspect. I took it for granted for a while. I just thought I assumed everyone did it, and and a lot of people don't, and they don't know how or when they want to. And so I learned the gift of being able to share and grow, and I learned that using all my experiences and background. Having my education background, having my background from childhood, having my creative background, all that. Just utilizing all of that for my business and with who I am. So all my whole journey has brought me to where I'm at now, and I've learned my skill set and my talent and my gift, and how to utilize that, and to help others. So I think that's what I've learned.
Do you have more things that you mentioned getting, larger property and things of that nature? There are more things on the Farmer Ken bucket list, dreams and aspirations with all of this that you have? Boy, I'd really like to take this to this level or do something, expand it. Is this something that could become, national or what have you at all,
Yeah.
or more regionalized?
Yeah, so I started a GoFundMe late last year, and I'll be picking up the initiative more this upcoming year to start community garden spaces. And in doing that, I want to start community garden spaces in under-resourced communities, like the work that I've done before for other organizations, right? But I want to do it in my own terms through the Farmer Ken. And so I envision this being, a center for people in areas who are under-resourced or have the lack of resources, right? For as a hub for people to have their own garden space, or places where you're not able to grow a garden because you may live in an apartment complex or you may not have land, right? So a place where you can have your own garden plots to grow, and then also offer gardening classes, healthy cooking and eating and nutrition courses and different things like that. And so I envision doing some of those spaces, some in LA, some in Chicago, some where I grew up back in Ohio, and taking this thing as far as I can get it. So yeah, definitely need to have more access to food around this country and around the world. And I'm going to do my part to make sure that that happens. And a lot of people want to grow, don't know how to grow, don't have access to grow, but just providing that opportunity for people to be able to have, their own plot of land or their own community garden space, and then to provide the education, working with other partners and community-based organizations, just so they get community ownership and getting youth involved, and I see it as being a very beautiful thing.
It really is. What you're doing is, and what you've done thus far is, Ken, it's extraordinary, and you're very well versed in it and very passionate about it. It's something that, again, early on, you were inspired by the family, and then you took the bull by the reins and just went with it, and you tied in the educational background with it as well. So this is something very, very special. And when I learned of you and invited you to pop on the show, and of course, one of our dear mutual friends, Kenny James, the wonderful musician and entertainer, had said, you got to check out this guy, Kenny. SPARKS, the Farmer Ken, is doing some incredible things here in LA. As somebody who is very into gardening and landscaping and growing, and knowing that it isn't just, there's so much, it's so therapeutic, it's so healing, there's so many different properties to doing this that is extraordinary, and you're paying it forward. And I said, it'd be great to have him pop on the show. And I'm glad that you did, especially this time of the year. Like for us here, we're starting to get into that gardening season. People are starting to, get the soil ready and do the things they need to do. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, Ken. It was a real pleasure having you here. I can't believe we chatted for almost 2 hours. It doesn't seem like it, does it? Everybody says it doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it at all. I'm definitely thankful for the opportunity, and everyone that's watching and following that's coming today, please make sure that you follow Jim Masters TV and subscribe. Definitely has been a pleasure being on here today.
Well, I appreciate that. And they can check you out again on Etsy, The Farmer Ken, as well as Instagram. And let's stay in touch. They want to see the blue pumpkins. So when you have them, and this was really, really cool. Again, you're doing amazing work for the community, and you're paying it forward. I just want to show you some of the comments coming in. Karen in Nova Scotia says, it was awesome having Ken on the show, very educational. And like I said, every show is something different. This is we do it, Ken, like an old school talk show, where it's warm, it's conversational, freestyle, we let it ride. Every night is something different, but it's got the old school vibe, but it's with a modern twist as well. Austin Field says, another excellent show. Thank you, Austin. Juanita in South Africa, this was a fantastic conversation. Thank you, Ken, for spending time with us and sharing your stories. May your garden grow and grow. And And Juanita's up. It's already, I think, tomorrow where she is in South
Oh,
Africa,
wow.
but she's
Yeah.
a trooper. I think she's nocturnal. Thank you, Ken. Really enjoyed tonight and learned important lessons. Perfect. That is exactly what we had hoped would happen. And she's in Jacksonville, Florida. LaPorche Ward, proud of you, cousin. Nothing tops family. Absolutely. Nice to have you here, LaPorche. And hope you'll watch more often. We're here every night. Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Ken. Sending lovity to you as well, Marcia. And hopefully you and I, we got to make another lunch appointment, Marcia. Marcia and I have known each other for years through my association with public television, PBS, as a host. She would come in and volunteer and answer phones and take those PBS Pledge Drive donations. So Marcia's a wonderful person. Merlin says, very interesting show. Love your attitude about gardening, Ken. Thank you. Absolutely. It makes me want to get out. It's dark now here, but it makes me want to get out and start working in the yard right away. It's chomping at the bit because I love working in the yard. Thank you so much for joining us at Lovely Hall, Ken, from Karen in Nova Scotia as well. And a couple more comments coming in here. Just wanted to show you Jennifer Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Ken, for spending time with us. Come back. Love ya. Kathleen in New York City. This is all interesting. Thanks, Jim and Ken and Karen in Nova Scotia. This is a wonderful thing that you do, Ken, as well. Jenny Doolittle. This is fabulous, Ken. Thank you, Jenny. It's nice to have you here with us on the Jim Masters Show Live as well. Lots of lovity, my friend. I told you lovity. You're doing lovity, and we're doing lovity, so it's kind of cool, right? Tess LaBella in Florida says, thank you for a lovely evening, Ken. You're a blessing. Mr. Lovity, you never, ever disappoint. Thanks, Tess. I appreciate that. It's always uplifting being with you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Lakeisha Bean says, thanks, Jim. I've learned a lot. Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us, Lakeisha, as well. This was awesome, my friend. Let's stay in touch. Off the air, we'll stay in touch. Keep me posted on everything that you're doing. And again, I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
You got the Farmer Ken and Mr. Lovity here, folks. I mean, we're going to get entertainment like this.
Right.
And if you're on the East Coast, between New York and Boston at all, let me know. And when I'm back out in the LA area on a TV shoot or another project, I'll let you know as well. Maybe we'll get together and break bread or slice up some of the Beverly Hills apples.
Yeah, definitely.
That sounds good. That sounds good. All right, my friend. Claudia Bartow says, wonderful show. My family and I love gardening. That's terrific, Claudia. I hope you jotted down some tips and you enjoyed some of the tips that we shared with you here on the show. And Tess says, Mr. Lovity, thank you very much. I appreciate that as well. And he has to come back later in the year to show us his fall produce.
Yeah. And the new space. I'll be back.
And the new space as well. That's right. That's right. The new space as well. All right, my friend. Again, they can find you on Instagram. They can find you. I think there's a Facebook page as well. And Etsy, the Farmer Ken. Absolutely. And love that idea, Ken, as far as coming back in the fall. You got it. All right, my friend, we toast you with a little green tea here in our dog love mug.
Yeah. I should have made my tea.
I was going to say, right?
Yeah. I have I make tea out of lemongrass. I have mint, echinacea, chamomile. You can make any of those teas. I have a couple of different varieties of mint. The strawberry mint is one of my favorites too. Pineapple mint. So, yeah. Next time I'll have my tea with you.
Yes, we will toast with our teas. I think everybody's starving. I haven't had dinner yet. And so now, I'm going to be eating right away. We have some rice and some chicken that we're going to have. Thank you, Tess. Subscribe to Jim Masters TV on YouTube. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Tess. Somebody that was watching, actually, that enjoyed himself as well, who's my sidekick, is George Burns. He was here. He loved it. There's no Farmer Ken action figures yet, right? You never know.
Not yet.
That's it. Jennifer says, I love Barry tea. Go figure. See? Great minds think alike. And Karen says, strawberry mint. Yum. Good stuff. Gang, you're the best. Farmer Ken Sparks, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate all the time and the wisdom and levity. You're welcome back anytime, my friend. And again, continued blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay well, and keep doing what you're doing because you're making a positive impact on the world. And it was a pleasure having you here on the Jim Master Show Live.
Yeah, likewise. Talk to you soon.
All right. Well, spread the word. You spread the word about our show. I'll spread the word about you. And I'll be in Scotland before ye. You take care, my friend. All right.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye-bye. That's Farmer Ken. Did you enjoy that, folks? That was absolutely amazing. And again, we always learn something new on the Jim Master Show Live together. Again, Etsy.com and the Farmer Ken Instagram as well. It's got all kinds of cool photos on there and something special, something different on the Jim Master Show Live. We are an entertainment lifestyle talk show series where every day we do something completely different than what we did the day before. I mean, yesterday we had tennis star and ESPN commentator. We talked tennis with Patrick McEnroe. We've got entertainers. We've got all kinds of great guests and lots of levity and lots, of course, of our famous levity. Yes, we would love it if you subscribe to the channel you're watching right now, which is our YouTube channel, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of the amazing daily episodes we do. We're here live 7 days a week, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And sometimes we do 2 shows. Like this Sunday, we have 2 shows we're doing with 2 amazing guests. So we say thank you. And don't you just love that shot? That is the new type of cell phone, the edible kind. I showed this earlier. There's yours truly, a green thumb, and always enjoy. That's why I really appreciate what he does. What I like about what Farmer Ken does is he does it for a purpose. You notice he listed several purposes, including feeding the family. There's several different purposes to why he does what he does. And it's really absolutely amazing. And again, all influenced originally growing up in Ohio, USA, with his family and his grandmother. And that really made a tremendous initial influence. And I think it's something quite special there in Los Angeles, California. We thank him for joining us on the show. And Karen says, such a great show. Jim, you never disappoint, Miss Lovely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show. I knew you would. We always like to have variety on the show. I'm big about variety, not the same old. Just like, again, the traditional entertainment lifestyle talk show series, you know, when they would have guests on, they'd be from all walks of life and different backgrounds, from top celebrities to somebody that, just wrote a book or whatever it may be. Another fun show with a great guest. Thank you, Jim. My pleasure. And Farmer Ken, thanks you as well. I do want to let you know some of the extraordinary people that are coming up here on the Jim Master Show Live. We've got a bevy of amazing people that are joining us. Tomorrow, Jack Mulcahy, he's a terrific and wonderful actor and a brilliant performer. He's going to be with us. That is tomorrow. That's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and can't wait to have Jack on the show. He's all excited. He's going to be here tomorrow live. He's been in so many film, television, and stage productions. He's going to be with us tomorrow live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's Jack Mulcahy, very well known. And then on Saturday, also from Los Angeles, we have another fantastic guest. This is Michael Shevik, and he is a brilliant author, and he's going to be with us coming up on Saturday. Saturday is going to be a special time, everybody. It's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. So we're on earlier with our guest on Saturday. Jot it down. It's a special time. It's 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific. And of course, all the shows are archived on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, so you can binge watch all of them. If you want to see this episode again as well, you can see this episode again as well. But Michael Shevik, live and direct from LA, is going to be here. He's got a brilliant new book. I don't want to say much about it because it's riveting, but we'll talk to him about it when he joins us on Saturday. Then on Sunday, double lovity. This is Rosa O'Reilly. She is the cousin of Keith Harkin, who was originally with Celtic Thunder and is a brilliant singer-songwriter in Ireland. This is his younger cousin, Rosa, who was on all the competition shows, television. She's a wonderful musician, singer-songwriter. She's going to be live from Ireland on Sunday. And that's going to be at a special time. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, because it's later in Ireland. She's 14 years old, and she is an unbelievably up-and-coming star. She's really amazing. She's a bundle of energy. She's incredibly talented. And again, her cousin is Keith Harkin from Celtic Thunder, originally from Celtic Thunder. He has a solo career now. And also, remember, he was a guest on our show, and so was his sister, Rebecca Harkin, another brilliant talent. She's in Australia. They are all cousins, and Rosa O'Reilly is going to be here. She's going to perform live for us. She's a 14-year-old musical sensation, and we're so excited. She's all excited. It was actually through her cousins, Keith and Rebecca, that suggested Rosa pop on the show, and Rosa's coming on Sunday. Then on Sunday night, Savella, the wonderful musical artist Savella, is going to be here, and she's going to share some great new music with us here on the show. That is Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Savella is going to be with us live exclusively on JMS Live, the Jim Masters Show Live. Monday, brilliant Canadian actor and performer Ryan Silverman is going to be here on the Jim Masters Show Live. He's been in so many Broadway productions and television, films, so much more. He's a great performer, originally from Canada, lives here in the States. I believe it's LA. And he's going to be joining us as well. And we're really excited about that. And that's going to be on Monday. Yes. So we've got some amazing guests coming up. Then on Tuesday, here's a fantastic actor, singer, producer, Giles Howe. He's also a playwright. Giles Howe is going to be with us. He's originally from Europe. He lives in Florida. He's going to be here on the Jim Masters Show Live on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we have Jason Gray. He is a renowned actor and performer. He's been on television, film, stage, you name it. He's going to be with us on Wednesday. Thursday, the Aussie crooner, Marty Thompson, is going to be here, originally from Australia. He lives in Nashville. He's a brilliant singer and entertainer and musician. He has performed with the BBC Big Band and countless big bands and orchestras and cruise lines in Vegas and you name it. We're going to have a lot of time. You've probably seen his name pop up because he's an avid fan of our show, and his brother was a guest on our show. Remember when we had entertainer and comedian and impressionist Jason Thompson on the show a few weeks back? This is his brother Marty, who's a prolific entertainer, musician as well. He's called the Aussie, for Australia, the Aussie crooner. He's coming on Thursday, and we are going to have a barrel of laughs with him, and it's going to be really, really something special. That's Thursday. Friday, the incredible musician, singer, songwriter, producer, musical director, Tracy Stark is going to be with us next Friday, a week from tomorrow. That's going to be amazing. Next Saturday, not this Saturday, but a week from this Saturday, Ryan Duncan, actor Ryan Duncan, is going to be with us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. And that's just a few of the many guests we have coming up for you here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We're working really hard behind the scenes here, folks, many, many hours of the day. And it's kind of crazy now because I'm very busy with my professional work in television and radio. So sometimes I'm staying up till 6 a.m. just putting these shows together. And then I can't sleep very long because I have to be on the air in my professional work in radio and television. So it's a little bit of a balancing act we're doing because we're very busy with everything, but we love it. We love it. Be sure and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, the one you're watching now, and tell everybody about it and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our fantastic daily episodes and all the other cool things that are on our YouTube channel. If you missed an episode or you'd like to see this one again, it's archived 24/7, 365 on our YouTube channel as well. Couple of things that we love to do here on the show. We always say, don't forget to smile. That is the best contagion that you could ever have. Don't forget to share the lovity, share it with the world, and find your Zen place. I grew up here on the East Coast near the ocean. We're here on the coast right now, just a few blocks from the ocean and the beautiful Long Island Sound, which is between New York and Long Island, New York and Connecticut. That's the Atlantic Ocean you're looking at there. And that is a Zen place for me. I love the ocean, swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, floating in it, sailing it, and just being near it. So find your Zen place, folks. Gardening is another Zen place for me, as it is for Farmer Ken. Gardening is a Zen place. Tennis, which we were talking about with Patrick McEnroe last night. Cycling, I love cycling, swimming, writing, music, all kinds of cool things. The number one Zen place is time with loving family and friends. Nothing tops the love of family and friends. That is always numero uno. And then, of course, my work in television and radio and stage throughout the years, which I absolutely love. So if you can do what you love and love what you do, that is very, very important. And that is another Zen place for me. And of course, you know what we always do here on the show, right? We always say, don't forget to relax, love one another, and breathe from the diaphragm. It's so important to take a nice solid breath from the diaphragm and you don't hyperventilate. It's been a year of hyperventilating with all the crazy things that have been going on. As I say, love one another, which is very important to do, I also say love yourself. Very important, not in a narcissistic, egotistical way, but know that you're important and you have something to bring to the table and you probably have a special skill or a talent you want to share with the world. So do it. And on our show, we say relax. Take time for yourself and relax. Get out and work in the garden. Stop to smell the roses. Go to the ocean, whatever it is. Go into nature. Write that book, whatever you want to do. And we also say on the Jim Masters Show Live that this show is something for everybody. It's an entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we started about a year ago. We're coming up on our big 1-year anniversary. And this is, again, fashioned after my professional work in television and radio. And on this show, everybody's welcome. It doesn't matter your gender, your political views, your religious views. It doesn't matter your eye color, weight, height, income, zip code. This show is designed for everybody. And so everybody's welcome to chime in and check in and join us every night here live on the Jim Masters Show Live. So we love you all. And a couple comments coming in here. We're going to wrap up. We're going to eat our dinner at 9:15 p.m. in the evening. Kathleen, I'm starving. I'm just starving talking about all the different foods we talked about with Farmer Ken. Have a great night, Jim, from Kathleen in New York City. Happy to be off for a bit. Moi. And good night all. You as well, Kathleen. Absolutely. And Juanita says, Marty has such great guests coming up. My nocturnal activities will need to be culled from next week. Schools are opening full-time from Monday. But somehow I know you'll still pull it off, Juanita. I just know how you will. And you can catch everything in the archives as well. Juanita, yes, didn't get to the top of the mountain, as Jim referred to weeks ago with me. Well, if you didn't get to the top of the mountain, there's always tomorrow to get to the top of the mountain. And we are here for you every single day. And Jennifer's putting in her order. She wants John Schneider, who was in the Dukes of Hazzard, and Bo Duke with Alicia Schneider on would be awesome. Terrific. That would be great guests as well. Absolutely. Everybody is welcome to join us as a guest. Hey, one quick thing before we do go, and we'll take a couple more comments coming in and look at those. We are coming up on our 1-year anniversary, and we are welcoming videos from our guests and from our viewers. If you want to make a quick video, you could do something fast on your phone, on your computer, your tablet. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to have a Hollywood set or, you know, a New York Broadway stage. You don't have to have any of that. You could just be talking into your phone or on your laptop, your camera, whatever. And you can email it to our show's email address, jimmasterstv@gmail.com. And we're planning a 1-year anniversary. Our actual anniversary for the show, I believe, is next week. So what we're going to do is we're going to enjoy it and note it next week. But we want to plan a special celebratory show, which takes a little time. So we're targeting May for that. So if you would like to make a quick video telling us why you enjoy the Jim Masters Show Live, we would love that. And again, you don't have to make anything fancy. You can just email it directly to us at jimmasterstv@gmail.com, and we will air it on the air live on that anniversary episode of JMS Live. So the viewers watching right now, guests that watch the shows, if you want to make a quick video telling us why you enjoy the Jim Masters Show Live, we will air it right here on our show when we have that anniversary celebration. And there is the email address, jimmasterstv@gmail.com. And if you guys have suggestions for other guests, we're booked all the way into June already, which is amazing. Every single day, sometimes 2 shows a day. It's just been extraordinary, the response to this show. We've built a wonderful community here and something very, very different and unique. But if you have guest suggestions from all walks of life, there you go. There is the address to write to, and certainly let us know. And many of you have done that, and we really, really appreciate that. So a couple of more comments coming in, and we will wrap up, and I'll have some more of this green tea. And Wozniak says, really enjoyed tonight, Jim. Thanks for having such diverse guests. My pleasure. Good night to you as well in Florida and in Canada and Nova Scotia. Such a great show, Jim. You never disappoint, Mr. Lovely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that as well. We work very hard here behind the scenes to put on a quality product, a quality broadcast for all of you. Jennifer Barry says, thanks, Jim. Fun show. Good night to you in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Juanita, South Africa. Another fun show with a great guest. Thank you, Jim. My pleasure. Kathleen, this was fun. Love the variety of guests. You always have something for everyone. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Kathleen in New York. Claudia, this was a fun interview. Good night, Jim. You as well. Claudia, you be well. You take care. And Claudia and Christine Clifton in North Carolina. Good night. Lost connection to the internet 8. Ended up driving all over my town to find connection, only to just say goodnight. So you were able to see the first, hour, and then your internet went down. Well, yes, absolutely. This show is intact on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV, so you can see it there. And I hope you get your Wi-Fi back. You drove all over town because you didn't want to miss a second of the Jim Masters Show Live. That's amazing. That reminds me of Maureen, who works in the hospital in Arizona, who rushes home from the hospital to make sure she doesn't miss our show. And I think you guys are really special. Don't forget, we have a Facebook group for the show, JMS Live, Lovety Hall. Everybody's welcome to check that in and check that out. Thanks, Jim. My pleasure as well. And Juanita, yes. And we're going to be downloading that tomorrow. I appreciate that. And thanks for sending that too, Juanita. I appreciate that. That video, did the video come through? You sent it through. We transfer big file. Yeah, we're in the process of downloading that. So good sense, good stuff there. We appreciate that. Jim, the comments will make sense if read in order as we write them. You know, it's hard to do that because they bounce fast. Sometimes they go too fast. We're not able to do that. So we can, like, if we wanted to go back to the very first comments that happened in the beginning of the show, the scroll is already long gone. It doesn't let us go all the way back up, so we're not able to do that while we're live. We can up to a certain point, but then when there's so many messages, it just, there's only so far that it allows us to go back. You drove all over to get the connection to see the show. Absolutely. And you are a trooper. You are a trooper. And we love you, Christine in North Carolina. Oh, I need to be off for the anniversary show. Make the video too, and we'll have you on. Good night, gang. We love you all. And good night, everyone from Juanita and all of you. Good stuff. Yeah, you get to do a power nap Saturday, but on the couch, 2.5 months till your mom comes back home. Well, you get that power nap. You got to get rest. That's really important too, gang. All right. We love you all. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Your host, Jim Masters here. Thank you for your time this time. Till next time. Back tomorrow night with actor Jack Mulcahy. He's got a lot of cool things to show us, and we're going to have an inspiring conversation and an amazing guest and all the other cool things we do here with lots of levity on the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being with us. Continue to spread the word about our series. That's really important, and we appreciate your doing that. Be well, okay? You take care. Oh, actually, there is something we want to show you. Remember when Kenny James was on the show? Because Kenny James told me about Farmer Ken. He said, oh, this great guy in Los Angeles that does community gardens, an urban farmer. Kenny was a terrific guest on our show. We had so much fun with him. His son, they played live. The dog jumped on their laps. It was terrific. So Kenny's amazing. He's become a dear friend. And he had these comments about our show, which we appreciate.
Hey, Jim. Oh, man, I want to tell you that how much I really enjoy doing your show. You know, I have to admit it was so much fun. I had like an hour and a half time scheduled to do the interview because I had another appointment after your interview, but it turned out to be so much fun. It almost felt like a family affair. It turned out to be so much fun that we went like 2.5 hours or so. And everyone said you did an incredible job with the interview. It was seamless. We had just a wonderful time, and I feel like I made a new friend out of it. So I really want to thank you very much for having me on your show. And I thank Terry Woolman for kind of recommending me for your show. And I have become a fan. What is it? A Levity fan? Levity fan? Yeah. But anyways, thank you very much, sir, for having me on your show. It was a pleasure.
I love that. He was the best, and we'll have him back as well. That's Kenny James. He's amazing. So thanks for joining us again, folks. We'll see you tomorrow night. We hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever time it is you're watching this episode, and be well. Okay, you guys be well. We'll see you tomorrow on the Jim Masters Show Live. Have a good night.